Hey, Facebook. I'm so excited to be talking with Dominic Syracuse here. So let me set the stage for this conversation today. We are launching here in Cheyenne an amazing workshop series starting March 4th. And it's called the High Performance Workshop Series for Cheyenne. The whole point of this series is because I and a whole bunch of other people in town, particularly supported by the Chamber of Commerce, we want everybody in town to have an opportunity to learn all of these habits and behaviors that the top performers implement in their life on a consistent basis to level up their life and to be the best they can. That is what I want in my own life, and I have been working on. I work on every day. It's an endless pursuit in some respects because we never really achieve status to where you can just stop growing. But who would want that? What's the fun of life if you stop growing? So anyway, I'm just inviting all the other people in town who are on the same journey as me, and we want to just be the best that we can in the world that we're in. And so what's so cool is I have Dominic Syracuse here because he is actually headlining our very first workshop. He is our guest for the launch. And so I want to invite you into his world for a little bit here so that you guys can get to better understand what you're stepping into when you come to the workshop, because it's going to be a blast, a blast. Yeah, I'm totally calling it the beat the hump day slump by coming to our workshop. Yep, that's been my little tagline. So, because it's on a Wednesday, you know, hump day.
Right.
Yeah, you know, camel, like that whole thing.
Yes, there are other kinds of connotations for that word, and we want to make sure that it's the right kind of advertising. We don't want you to come in expecting something totally different. Hump day because it's Wednesday, and that's it. That's the only.
Yes, thank you for backing me up on that one. Yeah. All right, so that is the event. March 4th, it's at the Willow Room in the library, and it's starting at 7:37 in the morning. And I've already had people ask, what is up with the 7:37? Well, you're gonna remember it, right? So there you go. That is the entire purpose, because it's memorable. So.
And it's gonna be like sheer jet fuel. We are gonna go 1,000,000 miles an hour. We're gonna be soaring high. There's a lot of analogies we can make for the 737. But just know that it's just to make everything better. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be super fun. I can't wait.
I love that. Okay, so y'all, I'm gonna ask Dominic some questions and just again, like I said, help you kind of get to see him and hear him a little bit before you get to do it live. So this is a little sneak preview. Yay! All right, Dom. Should I call you Dominic or Dom?
You know what? It's funny. I've never told anybody in my life to call me Dom. I always introduce myself as Dominic, but I know we're friends if you just start calling me Dom.
Perfect.
So we're friends.
All right, we're friends. Awesome. Okay, so Dom, what can people expect in the 90-ish minutes that they are going to get with you on March 4th?
All right. I know this is a bold claim, and a lot of people don't like this word, but I guarantee that you will leave energized and inspired. That is the goal. That's what I've dedicated my entire life to, is filling others with the same kind of energy and enthusiasm and creativity and imagination that I have cultivated for my entire life. A lot of people think it's a personality trait to be really positive and have a lot of energy and be creative, but it's actually a learned skill. The same way that cultivating your body through working out is a learned skill, or cultivating your mind through reading, cultivating your attitude towards positivity and creativity is a learned skill. And that's what I'm there to show everybody how to do.
I love it. And if I can also put a plug for the high performance habits in there and what I do, energy is one of these 6 habits. We can actually create our own energy. And so I love that, Dominic. You are totally on the same page as me. That is awesome. So during that time, that's what they can expect from you, but you are going to deliver a lot more than what they realize. I think, I know that the impact is going to sink into their brains and into their hearts more than what they realize. And so when they leave, how are they
Yes.
potentially going to be changed by that time?
That's an excellent question. The purpose of it is to unlock creativity so that when you leave there, if you're a business owner, my goal is to make sure that you are leaving with 1,000 creative ideas on how you can make your business grow, how you can make things better for yourself and your employees, how you can better your communication skills with everybody. You'll have more confidence when it comes to bringing ideas out. And most importantly, you'll have confidence in taking that creative thought you have in your head, building a plan to make it so, and actually manifesting it into something tangible.
Perfect. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10,
okay,
how much are you going to be getting people to laugh during this time?
Oh man, you know what? It's so funny. I must be just a funny looking dude, because when we just start, people just start laughing. I don't it doesn't even make sense.
You just stand up and everybody's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that or maybe, I'll come in and go, hi, everybody, my name's Dominic. I'm a business owner. And they're like, good one. And then it's just laughter from there, right? No, no, I really, really believe that there is a power to play. I'm an actor and I'm a stand-up comedian. And my whole business is teaching cognitive behavioral therapy, which is changing your thoughts, changing your behaviors, changing the way you think to overcome things like stress and depression and low self-esteem, apathy, increase things like confidence and public speaking skills and positive affirmations towards yourself. That's my whole goal. And I use it through acting. And all acting is it's just a game you play when you're a little kid. The same way that basketball is a game you play when you're a little kid. But if you get good enough at it, you could go pro. Acting is just playing make-believe. And if you get good enough at it, you can go pro. But what I think most adults don't realize is that we make the idea of make-believe something that's just for children. Mm-hmm. But we make believe all the time. I mean, whether it's a worry in our head, like, oh no, I don't think this is going to work out. You're making a belief, an imaginary circumstance in your head that you're living out if it's true. Or if you have a great idea and you're going, oh, this is going to be amazing, I can't wait. That's make believe. You just got this great idea in your head that you want to play out and make so. So the point is going to be a lot of play. And my hope is that you learn to harness that power of play.
That's awesome. I love that perspective that when we're worrying and when we're anxious, that is make believe. It's kind of the same thing as if you try to make believe on the other side. So why not choose make believe that's going to actually work for you?
100%. The word imagination actually means to imagine one's self. So when you're a kid, you're imagining yourself riding a dinosaur, or you're imagining yourself being a professional athlete or something. But when you're an adult, we use our imaginations sometimes to harm ourselves. We go, if we're worried about finances, I'm imagining myself not paying my bills, or I'm imagining myself failing if I want to go out there and speak in front of people or share an idea. You don't, because your imagination is going into a direction of negativity. What I like is teaching people how to take that wild and powerful imagination and use it towards positivity, use it towards hope, use it towards achieving goals, these things.
Yeah, I love that.
Which I know that's what you do, right? That's your manifesto, right?
Right. And Dom, why did you get into this? Where is your heart in all of this? Why not just be a stand-up comedian? And, where did this whole idea of integrating these two things, the cognitive behavioral therapy with theater, where'd that come from?
It 100% came to just prove my dad wrong, who said that there's no practical use for getting a degree in acting.
Okay,
he said you'll never.
Is your dad gonna watch this?
Probably. No. You know what? My parents are extremely supportive. No. What happened with me was my whole life, my two passions have always been helping people and acting. I mean, for as long as I can remember, I've been an actor. I remember I did my first play at the Cheyenne Little Theater when I was in second grade. And I remember even at 8 years old in second grade going, oh my gosh, like finally I'm in a play. I'm almost washed up at this point, you know? like it's been so long. I'm finally accomplishing this at 8, you know? So it's always been in my blood and my bones. But, you know, all throughout college, I was getting a degree in theater, and I always worked supporting people with disabilities, whether it was mental or physical disabilities. And I always volunteered whenever I could. I used to be in a rock and roll band, and we would make sure to do as many benefit concerts as I could because ultimately I've dealt with a lot of anxiety and depression in my past. I've dealt with a lot of trauma, and my take on it is always, I even just got into comedy because the world can be a sad place, and I just wanted to make people laugh. There was something about escaping all that for a while. And then while I was in my master's program out of NYU at Stella Adler, I found out they had this program where they went into prisons and they taught acting as this sort of behavioral outlet, this creative outlet to people who were incarcerated. And immediately I was like, yeah, I'm in, sign me up. I love it. And I went in and was so blown away at how these games that I'd been playing since I was a little kid ended up being this incredibly liberating experience for these people. You know, they're in an environment where they're constantly told, sit down, shut up, get in line, that kind of thing. And even them just being able to stand up and stretch. I mean, we hadn't even started the games yet, you know, and they were like, just the stretching part, they were laughing and so excited. And that's when I realized self-expression is something that a lot of people have never even attempted in their life. I mean, this is the world that I've lived in since I was a child.
Yeah.
Self-expression is something that a lot of people are foreign to. So when I saw how much it benefited people who were incarcerated in an atmosphere that we could all imagine would be the worst case scenario aside from even death, and I could see them laughing and being inspired and being motivated and being driven, I was like, okay, this can help everybody on earth. So I decided to take it out of the jails and bring it to all people. I was like, let me show you how much self-improvement can not just benefit your mood, but benefit your life and benefit your outcomes. It's incredible.
I love that. Dom, can you share a story with us that is one of the most impactful kind of outcomes that you've seen from this marriage between cognitive behavioral therapy and therapy? Yeah.
Yes. So I went in, as I said, to the prisons just to teach acting. And when the people in the jails, like the sheriffs and stuff, saw how effective it was, how people were, you know, they were getting people to open up, they said, you know, we have this program. It's an anger management program. And if the people who are incarcerated go through this program, they get time off of their sentence.
Okay.
And they said, we haven't had success in getting these guys to open up. You know, they're taking the class to get time off their sentence, but we're not getting results, you know. But they were like, we seem to be getting results with this. Can you come kind of show us these acting techniques to hopefully get results? So I had one of the students, I ended up taking over that whole program. I ended up becoming the anger management teacher in the jails, and that's where I learned about what CBT really is. For those of you listening who don't know what cognitive behavioral therapy is, ultimately speaking, it's an absolutely scientifically based approach to therapy that is medicationless. It's all about changing the way you see things, changing your outlook, which then changes your mood, which then changes your behavior. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, this is acting 101. That's what actors do. You know, we change our outlook to a character's outlook. You know, you get cast in a role. The best actors just have to change their point of view to match this character's point of view. That's called acting. So what I realized is I can take people and just teach them these acting techniques to just change their point of view about themselves. I like to say, instead of creating a character, we're creating your character. What is the kind of character you want to be? So to answer your question, there was a guy who came in, he took one of my classes. We had so much fun. We played a bunch of games and we wrote a bunch of plays. And at the end, he was so depressed. He said, you know, I had a lot of fun in your class, but I gotta admit, I'm really depressed because it's my dream. It was always my dream to be a writer. But I fell into the wrong crowd, got caught up in gang life, and now I'm incarcerated for 3 years. And he's like, I just feel like my dream is put on hold because of my outside circumstances. And I laughed at him so much. I said, do you know how much you are in an artist's dream right now? Because as an artist, I can tell you, the hardest part is having to get a day job and having to pay your bills and having to figure out how you're going to put food on the table. So what so many artists do is they have to get this job that has nothing to do with creativity for 8 hours a day and then try to find time to be creative and do their dream. I said, look, I know it's not the most ideal situation, but you got your rent paid for. You got your food paid for. You have all your practical worries out of the way. You could be writing 8 hours a day. Yeah. And when he said that, he went, oh my gosh, you're right. So in the 2 years he was in the program, he ended up writing not just one book, but 7 books.
Wow.
All handwritten. Every single one. It was an entire story. It's an entire series of one character going through this journey. On top of that, he even started doing research on a business plan, on the industry. He turned it into a script. He got self-published while he was incarcerated. And now his goal, the most amazing part of the whole story, was he was actually up for early release. So he could get 6 months off the sentence because he went through the program. And I was blown away. He came up to me and he said, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go through my full sentence, because he said, I know that when I get out there, I'm going to have to start paying my bills and doing all this stuff. And he's like, I want to make sure that my treatment for the movie script is perfect before I get out of here. So he actually ended up not even doing the 6 months off and elongating the whole thing. Wow. And now he's published, he's working on doing it. And from what he told me, he's thinking about getting the books published in his own handwriting. So instead of getting it, right? So when people buy the book, they can actually get it on the, printing of the notebook paper in his handwriting.
Wow.
So that's just a perfect example to me of what cognitive behavioral therapy is. Your outside circumstances do not dictate your happiness or your productivity or your dreams. It all starts right here. It's all about your outlook. And that's case in point,
I love that. I feel like I should give a disclaimer here. So I'm going to quick
do that. Please.
Dom is not saying that you should become incarcerated so you can be productive.
Yes,
okay.
yes. Okay. Listen, no. Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I am saying. I'm saying you should definitely don't become incarcerated. Don't become incarcerated. But if you do, it should have no effect on your happiness or productivity, because happiness and productivity is in here. And, I tell this to my guys inside all the time. I know people who have never been incarcerated, who have been living in a mental prison their entire lives.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And so that's what our goal is. Our goal is freedom, and freedom starts right here. Trust me.
Yes.
Trust me.
Yes. I love it. Preaching to the choir. Yes.
I know. This is seriously for anybody who's not listening. I just want it to be known. When I heard about this workshop series, when I heard that you started your high performance coaching, I reached out to you immediately because I went, hey, someone who gets it.
Yes.
Someone who knows, someone who understands. How can we work together? How can we collab? Yeah. I know that, like you said, I am not teaching you a thing. You live this every day. So
but
thank you for.
It's my pleasure and privilege, Dominic. But the fact that you're not teaching me is so wrong. Every one of us has an opportunity to grow. And I need a little more love and a little more laughter in my life. My husband does a pretty darn good job, but I can always ramp it up. So there we go. So yeah. So you did grow up, you were kind of born and raised in Cheyenne, which is, which I want to highlight because you are one of us, even though now you're like, in the shiny lights of LA. What is one of your favorite memories of growing up in Cheyenne?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I know this is so crazy. There's so many of them. I think that, so when I was growing up in Cheyenne, I used to be in a rock and roll band. So me and my buddies, we started a garage band when we were, I don't know, like 12 years old. And from the time we were 12 to 18, we were in this rock and roll band. And that's actually kind of where I learned how to be an entrepreneur, because you have this thing, you have this idea, you make music with these guys. And the whole goal was, all right, where do we play? We have this music, where do we play? And so what we'd do is we'd reach out to everybody, coffee shops and abandoned buildings. Can we play here? Can we please play here? Can we please have concerts here? And that's how I spent my youth, was going to different places in Cheyenne, whether it was places like the Sheriff's Posse, whether it was the Archer Research Facility, whether it was the Atlas Theater, and just going anywhere where they just said, yes, you can come, and throwing these rock and roll concerts. If I had to pick one, it was at a coffee shop. I'm not even sure if it's around anymore, but it used to be called Zen's Bistro. And what they would do is they would have these tiles that you could take off the roof and paint on. Now, they didn't even have a stage, but they said, sure, you can play here. And to this day, I remember the ruckus rock and roll shows we would have, where the band would just set up ground level with the audience, and people would be crowd surfing and kicking in those tiles on the roof and doing all of this. So I don't know how anybody else spent their childhoods in Cheyenne, Wyoming, but that was mine. And I couldn't be more grateful for that. That was incredible.
That's awesome. So I want to respect your time, and
Sure.
so I've got just a couple more questions. I like asking random questions that are a bit, and who better to ask a random question to than a stand-up comedian, right?
Listener beware, listener beware. I have not been prepped. Let's go.
Right?
What do you got?
And I feel like maybe I should have even made this more random, but here it is.
No, go ahead.
What is your favorite smell?
Oh my gosh. What is my favorite smell? Oh my word. That's a really good question. Okay. This is gonna be crazy. I don't know why this is the first thing that came to my head, but I'm just gonna be honest. Listen, who knows? Okay. My favorite smell in the world, wow, this is going to make me sound like a serial killer, is my son's skin. Is that weird? I have an 8-year-old son. And my favorite thing in the world is like when he falls asleep and I have to pick him up and put him in bed, he's got this scent that's just his scent, and I'll just like smell it and be like, that's my boy. Like, I know that's the weirdest. Okay, I hope we didn't just lose everybody who's coming to the show. Like that weird kid that weird guy who sniffs his son, the sun sniffer. I'm not going to the sun sniffer show. But I can't explain it. I
mean, there's people out there that, have their whole professional career based on the idea of pheromones, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe it's like you're smelling your own, like half of your own pheromones, and maybe it's really more of like a narcissistic thing.
Maybe. Isn't that the funny part about having kids, is that you're really, when you're like, you're going, that's just like me. Look how much he's like me. oh my gosh, he's like, he's like a little me,
Right.
Although my son, I do have to say, I love my son so much. He's incredible. He and I, we are kind of polar opposites as one another. My son is very shy and he's very reserved, and he's very intellectual as well. Like he goes to school for the intellectually gifted. And admittedly, I thought I could kind of flex on that. I was like, and so I went on Facebook and I was like playing humble. I was like, my son just got accepted to a school for the intellectually gifted. I guess it's from his mom because he didn't get it from me. And I'm not kidding. My son leaned over and saw me type it and he went, "Hey, Dad, you spell intellectually wrong." I went, "Thanks, bud. Thank you." So, anyway.
Leave it up to our kids, because my kids do it all the time. They put us in our place. They do.
Yeah, right.
Oh, absolutely.
You will not do. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, weird. Thank you, Dr. Sheri, for unleashing that weird psychological thing in my head.
You are welcome. I have a feeling it might be some fodder for some future comedy.
Oh, that might be really good. That might be really good. We'll see. Well, I might have to put that in the show.
Speaking of your show, where can people see more of you? First of all, everyone, please, I'm going to put the link. Actually, I'll put the link on this video at the end, as well as if you're getting this on Facebook, the link will be to buy the tickets to the high performance workshop. But they can also see you, experience you, maybe sniff your skin. Where can they do that?
All right. So I do charge extra for skin sniffing. It's a whole other ticket. And no, I am going to be.
You always have to have multiple streams of revenue. So I totally get it.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, remember when I said creativity? There it is.
There it is.
No, okay. So anyway, so I am so excited. I'm going to be performing 2 live comedy shows at the Atlas Theater 1 week from today. That is March 6th.
Yes.
March 6th at 7 p.m. and at 9 p.m. I'm going to be at the Atlas Theater. I'm going to be doing an hour of stand-up comedy, all original material, all stuff that I've developed. It's really, the whole show is just about my story growing up in Cheyenne, having a dream of being a comedian, going out to LA, how crazy that was, and then coming back home and being able to share it with everybody else. I'm bringing a few friends. I got to give a huge shout out. Hannah DeLu, another hometown girl who moved to Las Vegas and has been doing amazing comedy in Las Vegas. She's going to be coming and opening up with 30 minutes. Yeah, so it's going to be a massive blast. Once again, that's March 6th at the Atlas, 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. If you can't make it, then you can check out my comedy on my YouTube channel. It's called The Domunist Manifesto. That's Domunist with a D, The Domunist Manifesto on YouTube. And you can see a bunch of crazy stories about me going skydiving on discount or accidentally going on a date I wasn't expecting, or these kind of things. So.
Okay, and let me just give a little cred to Dom for this. So my husband, when I laugh out loud to something, my husband immediately knows, oh, well, that's actually funny, because it takes a lot for me to like be quietly in my own skin and then laugh out loud. And every time I watch your videos, I laugh out loud. In fact, sometimes, you know how like you laugh so hard, like you start getting mucusy and then you have to cough. Like, I get mucusy when I listen to you because you are so hilarious. So I'm serious.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, guys, there's the plug for the show. Come to the Atlas March 6th and let's get mucusy. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's cough up some phlegm together as a city, Cheyenne. Let's cough up some phlegm together. Woo!
Woo! We'll make sure we have a Kleenex so that we don't spread the coronavirus. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, that's it. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. I really appreciate that. Awesome.
Well, Dom, thank you so much for for working with me on this. It's been my
Yes.
pleasure and privilege. I look forward to next week. If they, where else can they get a hold of you? You're on Facebook. You're on kind of everywhere.
I am. You can, go to my Instagram. It's the Domunist Manifesto on Instagram. And then, like I said, the Domunist Manifesto. But most importantly, come to the library in the Willow Room, right?
Yes. Yep.
The Willow Room, 7:37 on Wednesday, because I love making people laugh. I love doing all of that, but my real passion is inspiring people to make their dreams come true. So if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur or somebody who's just got a dream and you want to just take that step to make it actually happen, I'm so happy to help out. I know that Dr. Sheri, you are the one that you're the coach. You are the coach on how to do it. I am so happy to just be, the special guest, the entertainment for today. It's going to be amazing. 7:37 a.m. Hump Day. It's
yes.
We're gonna get mucusy, and we're gonna sniff each other's skin on Hump Day. It's gonna be great.
And on that note, awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.